Pretty and Paper Crafts, and this is Facebook Live. I do this every Sunday morning at 8 a.m. and I love that you can join me today. Thank you so much. We have some really amazing projects I'm going to show you today that are so simple but yet so beautiful, and I'm just really excited to get going. So I'm going to go ahead. This is awesome. All right. So the reason that we're going to go ahead and do this card here, and the reason that I have this kind of different background today, this kind of shiny, is because I'm using a laminated placemat. And the reason I'm using a laminated placemat is because we're going to use water, and water can get messy. And so this has actually worked out super perfect to have this. And a good friend of mine, thank you, she laminated this for me. And so it's just been perfect as a placemat for me. So I'm going to show you how we colored this paper to make this beautiful card. Now, I wanted to show you what inspired me. So I decided, I was playing with the new in colors because I'm doing an in color club. You guys all know this. I have an in color club starting, and I made these cute cards. I colored this designer series paper in the in colors and made these 5 cards. You should have seen how quickly they came together. They're so easy. I'm so inspired by these in colors. And so I said, you know what? I want to show people how I did this because this is just such a cool effect, right? Love it. So I will tell you though, I'm still taking signups for the In Color Club. And I think I wanted to clarify, because some people are kind of like, ooh, you know, I want to try it, but I don't want to be committed for 5 months. And I want you to know you do not have to be committed for 5 months. You are not locked into some contract for 5 months. You can go month to month. You can, you know, I know how things go. Your status may change. You know, something may come up. Your AC dies, whatever. And you might not be able to do it next month. That's totally fine. Or you may buy 1 month and be like, this is dumb. I'm not doing it again. Fine. You're not locked in. Each month you would pay by the 10th of the month for that month's club. And then you'd get all the goodies in the mail for that color of the month. So do not feel like you'll be obligated for the 5 months, but you're going to want all 5 because you're going to want all 5 colors, and it's going to be so much fun. I'm going to spoil the heck out of you. You know that's what I do. You know that I can't help myself. So don't miss out on this fun In Color Club. And again, the deadline for June is June 10th. And so you can see I used this detailed layer, or delightfully detailed laser cut designer series paper. Whew, that's a mouthful. So I wanted to show you guys what it looks like. Isn't this gorgeous? Look at that. Now, it's missing this bottom strip here, and the reason for that is because I made these little treat boxes, and I used that piece to make the wrap around the box. So see, I've even got those in all the colors. Look at that. Isn't that cute? And there's only 4 sheets of it, so I had to get creative with my 5th sheet. And I used, for my Grapefruit Grove one, I used the side, because there's a side pattern. I just took this chunk out and wrapped it around. See that? So I love this. This is gorgeous. This is probably one of my favorite new designer series paper. It's called Delightfully Detailed Laser Cut Specialty Designer Series Paper. And it just has these gorgeous prints. There's 4 sheets of each. So there's this one that has different sections. And then there's this one that's like a full sheet of gorgeousness. Isn't that cool? You have to be really careful when you're cutting it because it is delicate, but the trimmer cuts them just fine as long as your blade is sharp. So I'm going to set these aside so they don't get hurt. But this is probably my most favorite set of designer series paper right now. I'm just in love with it. So I'm going to show you how we did this. This is a lot of fun. Again, on my blog has all of the measurements and details for everything on both of my projects today. So make sure you hop over to the blog and get those. You're going to need a card base. This is thick Whisper White cardstock. And I'm using Night of Navy and Berry Burst because those are 2 of my favorite color combinations. So you've got a piece of Night of Navy. I believe that it's cut at 5 1/4 by 3 3/4. And then I cut out one of my pieces of the Delightfully Detailed Laser Cuts DSP. Ugh. And if you notice here, it's 2-sided, and one side is Very Vanilla, and the other side is Whisper White. So I just cut out, it's not the same one, so there's all these different patterns, so I decided, you know, let's try a different one here. So I'm gonna show you how we color this. And this is why that aqua spritzer and that re-inker are so important, you guys, because you're going to have the tools you need to make this project. So I am laying down paper towels because you're going to need paper towels. We're playing with water, so we're going to have to be careful. I'm laying down a layer of paper towels, and I've got my piece of DSP right here. And you're going to do a mixture. So you're going to take your aqua spritzer, I keep saying aqua spritzer, but it's a Stampin' Spritzer, and you're going to fill it with a few drops of your re-ink, your ink refill. Okay, so I did about, I would say about 6 drops of ink. It just depends on how dark you want it. And then I just added a little bit of water. Some people add alcohol. I've not noticed a difference between the two. And I probably need to do a little bit more research, but water works just fine for me. So I just put a little bit of water. You don't obviously need a very much, right? It's just a little piece of paper. And if I end up running out and need more, I'll show you guys how I did the mix. It's really quick and simple. So you just take the cap off of your spritzer and make sure you have a wide, area that you can get clean, or you can, surface that you're not gonna, that is covered. Ugh. Okay, so here we go. We're just gonna spritz the color on. Make sure your spritzer's facing the right way so you don't get a face full of ink. Look at that. Oh, so pretty. Now, I wish the colors would just soak up in the paper and be this dark and vibrant, but it doesn't. It doesn't get that dark. It really does end up being a lot lighter than you think it's going to be, but that's okay. And what I did notice is that I kind of, if you do it in layers, so let's say, you did it and you blot off the extra water and it's pretty light and you want it darker, you can let it dry and then spritz it again. And you can just do it in layers and it will get darker each time. But for the time and sake of this video, I don't want you guys to sit here and wait forever. So see how when I start to blot it off, how light it gets? See that? Look at that. So it did lighten up a bit, and that's okay. It's still going to be gorgeous if I put it up against my Night of Navy. See how pretty that is? So it's even pretty as light as it is, but you could go darker if you wanted dark. If you wanted it really, really dark. Actually, I'm gonna try one more layer. We'll see. It's kind of still wet, so it might not take, but we'll just try it. I'll use up the rest of the stuff I have. I'm running out. Yep, I'm out. Oh, well, I guess that's a good opportunity. Here, let me show you how we do this. So you just screw off the top of your spritzer, like so, okay? You take your ink refill. You're just gonna put some drops. Can't keep my hand straight. Here we go. Okay, so just a few drops. And then I keep this handy dandy little bottle of water. Look at this. Has a fine tip. It was like $1 at Walmart, I think. Go to the cake decorating aisle. Just put a little bit of water in there. Oh, that's the top for this. So let's put that back on. Shake it up. All right. Look how dark that is. Just making a hot mess here. That's all right, because we know once we blot it off, it's going to be really light. So that's it. That's all you do for the for the Stampin' Spritzer. So we're just gonna I'm just gonna blot off whatever didn't stick. Yeah, see how light it. Well, I think it made it a little bit darker, but it's not going to get much darker unless I'm let it dry and then do it again and again and again. So we're going to set that off to the side and let it dry a little bit more before we start trying to glue things on, okay? So the other two pieces that we have are, I already went ahead and cut out a stitch shape oval, and these are my stitch shape framelits. I love these things. I can't live without them. And they come in the 3, remember I showed you? Oops, I need a bigger magnet. These guys don't want to stay on. Comes with the squares, the ovals, and the circles. This is probably one of the best investments I've made with Stampin' Up. I get the most use out of these things like nobody's business. I am using the largest oval, and I did cut that out already. And we're going to stamp on these 2 pieces. This is just a scrap piece of Whisper White because we're going to stamp a sentiment. So I'm using the new Love What You Do stamp set. This is a gorgeous, gorgeous set. And I'm going to be using this beautiful flower and the thank you. So let's go ahead and stamp our flower. And let's get our thank you on a block and stamp that as well. All right, so I'm putting my flower on a block, my thank you on a block, and remember, oh, okay, so that's one thing I didn't tell you. I'm actually going to be using my Stampin' Blends to color my flowers. And when I stamped my flower originally, it was in Night of Navy, and you can see it does bleed a little bit because your blends are alcohol-based and your inks are water-based. And am I getting that backwards? I don't know, guys. It's too early in the morning. I can't explain it. But with the regular ink pads, it does bleed. The color bleeds. So I'm going to still stick with the Night of Navy, and because this one turned out pretty good, and just show you what I did here. So it's not impossible to use them. Just know that it will bleed and get a little messy. Okay, so I've got my Night of Navy ink. I've inked up my flower. I'm just going to stamp it here. I kind of want it off center slightly. You can see my flower slightly to the left a little bit. So that's where I'm going to aim for. I'm just giving it some solid pressure. Voila, beautiful, beautiful flower. I love it. And I'm using my new chamois. Listen to that squeaky squeak. Squeaky clean. I think that pretty much everyone that came to my party yesterday ordered one of these bad boys, and then I ordered 3 more just for my classes because I love them. They're just great. Okay, and then I'm going to be stamping the thank you in Night of Navy. Janie, are you singing Let It Dry? Let It Dry. Too funny. Janie and her music. She's always finding funny lyrics. All right. Getting that squeaky clean. I love that this doesn't use any chemicals, and I love that the colors don't bleed off of the chamois. Like, the chamois magic. Okay. So I've got my 2. Let's go ahead and color the flower. I'm going to put my Night of Navy ink away. And I've got these blends. Now, these blends are not Berry Burst. They are Rich Razzleberry, and then I've got, we're going to pretend this is Petal Pink. This is Pink Pirouette, which retired. But the new blend colors will not be available till mid-June. But let me tell you, all the rest of the blends from last year that are carrying over are now available to order. So you can get the blends. If you don't have the full set, and you wanted some of those colors that are still available, they're there and they're available to order. So you can go online and get those. I just found that out that they said they were orderable already. So I'm going to be going ahead and coloring. And what I wanted to do is I want to start with my darkest color. And I'm starting with darkest at the bottom of the flower, and I'm working my way up to a lighter color at the top of my flower. So in the bottom, I'm just going to be doing kind of a center kind of scribble, right? So I'm just starting in the center and kind of fanning out. Can you guys see that? I'm gonna give you a close-up. So I just started in the center and fanned out. Now I'm taking the lighter marker, which is still in Rich Razzleberry, so light Rich Razzleberry. I'm using the fine tip. You could use the brush tip. It doesn't matter, whatever you prefer. And I'm just going to go up a little bit more, and I'm blending in that kind of line, the 2 colors where they meet. I love that the blends do that they blend. That's just like their name describes them. They blend the colors, and they can, you can actually like get the lines to almost completely disappear. So I'll show you. Show you what I'm doing here. Get you a close-up. So this is layer number 2 with the lighter Rich Razzleberry, and I brought it up farther. And then I'm going to finish with my pink Pure, aka Petal Pink. Don't tell anybody. I'm using a retired color until I can get the new ones. And I'm just blending that up to the top. I noticed that the pink pulls the Night and Navy color the most. That kind of blends that, that ink pad, the Night and Navy that I used that I'm not supposed to with the blends. So it's kind of making the ends a little bit bluish, but it still looks kind of pretty. So I'm just blending, getting the color down to the ends of the flowers. Okay, that's good for me. Check that out. Look at that beautiful flower. So pretty. I love the blends. They make me look like I'm actually like an artist or something. Yay. Okay, so put my blends away. That's all I need for that. Now, let me show you what I did for the thank you. Now you could just cut this and make a little V, little dovetail and slap it on there like a label. But sometimes I like the look when you actually cut out the word. So that's what I did for this one. So we're gonna do that. And it just takes a second. You just color around. Give it a nice wide space. It doesn't have to be super detailed. Check that out. Woo. And that's it. That's all you need to cut. Super easy, super fast, and throw your little scrap away. Okay, now let's see. This is pretty dry. Doesn't take very long. Okay, I'm gonna show you another little trick, okay? We need our little Night and Navy piece, so because we're gonna glue this on here. But this one isn't so bad, but other pieces have these fine detail. And you can see I couldn't get all my leaves glued down, right? Some of them are still sticking up. And you know what? That's okay. It still looks really pretty. But if you are, you know, you want your piece to be glued down, like you're not allowed to do that, right? So let's say you're like that, and that's fine. I'm like that too. But I wanted to show you that you can use your silicone craft sheet. Mine obviously needs to get run through some cleaner here because it's kind of icky, but you can use this to help with the adhesive. Okay, let me show you what we're going to do here. I'm going to take some liquid glue and I'm going to have I have a piece of sponge, right? I just cut, it comes in a big circle. These sponges come in a big old circle and I just cut little V's out of them. You don't need a lot of sponge. And I'm going to take some liquid glue. I'm just going to make a pile right here. See that? And I'm going to flip over my project, my little piece that I want glue on. And I'm going to take my sponge. I'm going to dip it in the adhesive. And I'm just going to run this all over my piece. Oh, look, I didn't have enough glue. My sponge picked up a lot of it. We're just going to rub this all over. And the great thing about this is that the silicone mat washes right off. The glue does not stick to it. So now the back of this is sticky. This can be washed, the sponge can be thrown away, and you're gonna be able to lay this down and it will stick. Check that out. How awesome is that? And this just gets washed. We'll just go wash this. The great thing about these silicone mats is the glue doesn't stick. Embossing powder, when you heat it up, doesn't stick. This thing's magical. And I don't think I could live without it. So look at that. You don't have to deal with a bunch of sticky adhesive that literally I just sponged it on and slapped it down, right? So cool. Oh, thank you, Grandma Kim. She's on, and she's sweet. Thank you. Okay. And so now we've got our little pieces here and we've got our base, but we're not done. We got to embellish. We have this cute new embellishment kit. It's with the Share What You Love suite, and this statement of the heart. This is Stampin' Up! Statement of the Heart. It says, to love what we do and share what we love as we help others enjoy creativity and worthwhile accomplishments. In this, we make a difference. Doesn't that just sound like Stampin' Up? Like, we help others enjoy creativity. That is my goal. Like, I want you to love being creative. Everybody has it in them. And I share what I love what I do, and that's how I make a difference in the world, right? So it's so cool. And this box is so dang cute and so sturdy. This is our embellishment kit for this set. And look, oh, some of these spilled out, but look at these little mini paper clips and little roses, little metal roses. Can you guys see these? I fell in love with this kit just for these little pieces. And this already has adhesive on the back of it. You just have to slap this bad boy on your project. And then it comes with 2 spools of baker's twine. And it comes with all these gorgeous already cut cut labels. Aren't those gorgeous? You just punch them out or just push them out. Beautiful, beautiful. So, of course, I had to embellish. So I need a little rose and I need some baker's twine. And we'll do that in a second. Let's go ahead and glue on all of our pieces so everything's ready. Let's go ahead and put some adhesive on the back of our Night of Navy. Just going to use some runner. And if you have questions and I don't catch them, I'm so sorry. I will go back, I promise. I'll go through and try to answer your questions. Again, that's the whole point of Facebook Live, is to communicate with you guys, answer questions, share, and you know, get you all to love crafting as much as I do. So I put my piece down. Now I'm going to put my oval down. I'm just putting some adhesive on the back of it. I'm putting it off-centered and off to the left a little. There. You can put it wherever you like. You could put dimensionals on the back of this little saying, or you can glue it straight down. I'm just going to glue it straight down. No reason to fuss over it. Like so. And then I'm going to put my little embellishment down, but I want a little bow behind it. So, and this baker's twine is so thin and so tiny, so delicate. So I'm going to do a double bow. I've got my ribbon scissors. These are my special ribbon scissors because my other scissors get so dull with the paper cutting that they don't cut ribbon anymore. So I have to have 2 pairs now. One for paper, one for ribbon, which I probably should have done from the beginning. All you gals over there are probably like, yeah, duh. I'm a little slow. Takes me time. It's okay. All right, so made myself a little double bow. Cut your end here. So now you have 2 ends. And then I'm taking my adhesive back off of my rose, sticking that to the front of my bow. Okay, and then I need a glue dot because it is sticky, but the bow kind of gets in the way of the adhesive. So I'm just going to get another glue dot and stick that onto my bow just to make sure it sticks really well. Don't want it coming off. Come on, there we go. And I'm going to stick that at the point where all the flowers meet, like it's a bouquet. Isn't that pretty? Oh my gosh, I'm in love with this. Do you guys love it? Can't get enough. I'm weird. I know, I get excited over weird things, but look how pretty that is. Oh my gosh. I can't help it. So, there you go. There's my delightfully detailed laser cut specialty designer series paper card. Whew, say that 10 times fast. This paper is super gorgeous. I love this stamp set. And we just put together a gorgeous card in just a few minutes. So look at that. 2 different backs. I really love the flower, the detailed flower. But you've got 2 different versions. And for some reason, this one cut down a little bit long or shorter. So I probably would have trimmed this down a little bit. But still looks really pretty. Super cute. All right, so there's project number 1. Okay. Now I have to move, everything kind of got piled on top of project number 2. So project number 2, remember, we're going to make this cute gift bag. It's super, super easy. All the measurements are on my project sheet on my blog, so make sure you get that. So we've got that. And because this paper, now I feel bad, but this paper is from Celebration, and so it's no longer available. And I felt bad because it was like a tease to people. I was like, look how pretty this paper is. Yeah, now you can't get it anymore. But I'm going to show you some new beautiful paper that would make a gorgeous bag. I'm going to be using the new designer series paper. look at this paper. Gorgeous. Look at the shine. I think that's my favorite part, is the shine. So this paper comes out of this giant stack of paper. If I could find it, where's my stack of paper? Where'd it go? It's a huge stack of paper. I don't know where it could hide. Probably right in front of my face. Oh, it is. It's just one tier higher than I thought. This giant stack of paper, you can see I've already been cutting into it. It's gorgeous. It's called Share What You Love Specialty Designer Series paper. It comes in, there's 24 sheets total. And it is just the most beautiful paper it has. And everything has a shine to it. All of the pieces have this metallic look to them. And it's just gorgeous. Look at that. Just beautiful, beautiful paper. So I thought, well, this would make a gorgeous bag. So let's go ahead and show you how you can make this beautiful bag. And I have not done any of the cutting or scoring ahead of time because I want you to see how simple and easy this is. Okay, I'm going to move this because it just slides everywhere and makes it difficult for me. The first thing we want to do, again, I said you needed 2 pieces of designer series paper. So the first thing you want to do is cut your designer series paper down to 8.5 by 12. So it already measures 12 by 12, right? So we're just going to cut it down to 8.5. And I don't know if I can get the whole thing in this camera, so we'll see. Can you see the bottom of my trimmer? I've got it lined up at 8.5. I guess if I live in a right-handed world, so I should do it right-handed. You guys could probably see it this way better. 8.5. Can you guys see it that way? I don't know. The camera's delayed, so we're just gonna assume you can see it. You're gonna cut it at 8.5. And you have this little extra strip for some other fun project later. And you're gonna cut this one just like the other at 8.5. Oops. Okay, so now you have 2 pieces. Okay, now we need to put that aside for a second. We need to get our scoreboard out. Okay, and we're going to score. We're going to put it on the long side, and we're going to score at 2 1/4. Oops, don't let it jump track. 2 1/4 and 10. Okay, do that with the other one as well. 2 1/4 and 10. Okay, now you've got 2 pieces scored. Now, let me get back my trimmer out because we need 2 sides of our bag. So our bag has 2 sides to it. See this side and this side? These are made with the cardstock. So we need 2 pieces of cardstock. I am using Tranquil Tide. And the reason I'm using Tranquil Tide is because it coordinates with this paper so pretty. Isn't that gorgeous? Look at those colors. So the 2 pieces need to be cut at 9 inches by 3 3/4. So 9 inches on the long side, right? Because it's 11 by 8.5. So this side's not long enough. So cut the long side at 9. And then turn it and have the short side and cut that at 3 3/4. And then that's one sheet, and you need another one at 3 3/4. So just slide your cardstock down, cut it again. So now you've got 2 pieces. Okay, now we're going to score these ones as well. So we're going to get our scoring board back out. Okay, so on one short side, we need to score at 3/4. We need to do a notch at 1 7/8, and we need to score at 3 inches. So it looks like that. Can you see? Score, notch, score. Now you're going to turn it so that the notch is on the left-hand side. Line it up and score at 7 5/8. So 7, here's 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5/8. It's the notch right after the 1/2 inch mark. Okay? You need to do the exact same thing on this piece. So repeat, rinse and repeat. Score at 3/4, notch at 1 7/8, score at 3, turn, and score at 7 5/8. I made 12 of these, so I'm almost an expert at it now. Okay. Oh, good. I'm glad you guys like the choice of the colors. All right, so we've got our pieces here. Now we have to do some cutting here. I'm going to get my big scissors. I like to cut my projects like this with the big scissors. And we're going to do a cut. So we're going to cut up, see these little squares at the bottom, or kind of rectangles at the bottom? We're going to cut those off. So I'm going to miter. So I'm going to do a little bit of an angle here, and I'm going to do a big angle here. So see what I'm doing? So that it looks like that at the end. So miter here a little bit, just cut inward so that this flap is a little less than squared on both sides. And then you're going to miter here. Just like that. See? You're going to do the same thing on the other one. Really, this is like, if you guys think this project is complicated, like, this is not. This is it. Really, I promise. Oh, we have to do one more set of scoring. I almost forgot that piece. So you guys are probably wondering why I have these notches in the center, these 1 7/8 notches. Well, we need to do another score, 2 score lines. I'm going to get my piercing mat out, get my handy dandy ruler, and my bone folder for this. And what you need to do is line your ruler up at that notch and line your ruler up at the bottom point, just like this. And then you're going to use your bone folder and you're going to score. So just like your scoreboard, except this is freehand scoring. See that? And then you're going to do the exact same thing from the notch to the other corner. And what this does is help give you those guides for where that side folds in. Okay, so we've got one. We need to do it again on this one. Can you see? Do I have it all on the screen? Sometimes I'm off camera. I'm sorry, guys. Just yell at me. Okay, so I'm just scoring at both points. See that? All right, that's it. That's all the scoring. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to burnish all of my edges, or all of my score lines. Even my V score lines are going to be burnished. They're going to be burnished the opposite direction though. So I want them. So see how I flipped my page over? So I was burnishing like this, and then I flipped my page over and burnished the opposite direction. It's because these V's are going to fold in the opposite direction. So basically what you want is this kind of fan looking. So folding in, folding out, folding in, folding out. I know I made that super complicated. Just fold all of the outsides one way and fold the V the opposite way. Like that, and then flip it. Okay, there we go. So now I'm out of tear and tape because I made 12 of these gift bags for my retreat, or for my party. But I'm going to use Fast Fuse, and I know that's no longer available. So if I were out of tear and tape and Fast Fuse, the second best would be, or third best would be liquid glue. A little bit more messy, a little bit more time consuming, but very, very sturdy glue that would hold your project together. I have Fast Fuse, and so as long as the Fast Fuse cooperates, I'm going to use it. And, oh, we probably want to burnish these edges as well. So I flipped it over to the back side, fold at my score lines, and burnish with my bone folder. This paper is so nice and sturdy and thick that it works perfectly for a bag. It's not thin at all. It's really thick. So it works great for a bag. That's kind of why I chose it. Be great for a scrapbook, Terry. Hint, hint, Terry. Okay, so now I've got these two pieces. They're scored, they're folded, and see how this top fold is slightly wider than the bottom fold? This is going to be the bottom of our bag, okay? And we're going to glue them together. So what we're going to do is I'm going to put some Fast Fuse on the inside of one of the flaps. Come on. There we go. No? All right, this is a brand new one, so I had to get it started. And it didn't want to start. Okay, so I've got fast fuse on my inside flap. Now I'm going to, fast fuse, once you lay it down, it's down for good. So make sure you've got it where you want it to be and it's lined up on both sides. So now you've created this piece, right? So this is going to be our bag. So first, before we glue these flaps down, we need to put our inside pieces in, or our side pieces. So I'm going to put adhesive on the back side of the flap, and this is going to go into the inside of our bag on the side here. So I'm just lining up as best I can here. There we go. Okay, now we've got to put adhesive on this side flap. I'm going to do 2 because the flap is kind of wide. Okay, so then what you're going to do is, I'm going to get really close to the screen here because this bag is kind of tall, or you could do it sideways here, maybe. Trying to figure out the best way to show you guys how to put this together. I'm going to do it this way. Okay, so you see here, we're going to line this up with the side and just push down our edges like that. Okay, now we need to do the same thing on this side. Need to get some adhesive on here. Easier with tear and tape. I wish I wasn't out. And I'm afraid to put adhesive on it before I'm ready to glue it because then things stick to things you don't want. Okay, so once you've got the adhesive on there, make sure you get it lined up as flush as you can. There we go. You've got a side. Woohoo! All right. So then, once we get this side glued down, we can close up those top flaps. So putting adhesive on. I can see why Stampin' Up! Probably got rid of fast fuse. It is very cumbersome to use. I'm going to put adhesive on the sides here because I don't think I'm going to be skilled enough to magically add adhesive to these sides once it's down. So I'm going to just have to be extra careful not to get things stuck to everything else. Okay, so I've got my flap. I'm going to glue it down to the inside. You guys see that? Okay, once I've got that down, I'm going to line up one side. I'm sorry I bumped the camera, giving you guys motion sickness. Glue that in. Now we're going to do the other side. Get that in. Look at that. Look at that. So nice. Okay, now we're going to glue our flaps down because they're in the way and they're annoying me. So I'm folding this up so you can see. I'm going to put adhesive on the inside of this flap, and I'm going to tuck it in and glue it down. So see here, it's just glued down to the inside of our bag. And do the exact same thing on this side. These bags are so sturdy and they just are perfect for a lot of stuff. They can fit a lot of things. So look at that. Put our bag together. Now I'm going to show you how we made the handles. So the first thing you have to do, well, you don't have to, but it's going to help, is you're going to want to mark the center of your bag. Okay, so the center, this bag measures 8.5. So the center of the bag is 4.5 or 4 1/4, right? So that's half of the bag. So I'm going to line my ruler up at the top and mark 4 1/4 on both sides. This is going to tell me that I'm punching, because I'm going to punch I'm going to use my circle punch and I'm going to punch these, and I want to make sure I do it in the center of the bag. Okay, so you're going to need your circle punch. I am using my 2-inch circle punch. I do not own the 2 1/4. I wish I owned the 2 1/4. It is on my wish list. And I would have used it for a bigger handle, but I only had the 2, so I made it work. Okay, so here's the thing about this. So I've got my little notch. You can barely see it, right? And I put my hole punch. I slid it down over the edge of the bag, and to help me guide and figure out if that's in the middle, I'm using what's inside the circle punch. There's this center with a straight line, and I'm using that, and I'm trying to eyeball where that center is. And I'm slightly down than less than half. So they see these notches on the side inside the circle punch. That's about halfway to the circle. I'm slightly below that. Doesn't have to be perfect, but I'm a little OCD, so in my world, yes, kind of. Okay, so now we're gonna do it on the other side. So I have my little notch here. I'm gonna try and line that up as best I can, slightly below the middle of the circle to make my handles. And there you go. And hey, look at that. When I put my sides together, that lines up pretty good. Not exact, but pretty good. And nobody's gonna be the wiser. Okay, so to make my handles, I'm gonna set my bag off to the side. I've got 2 pieces of that Tranquil Tide cardstock. And the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna punch the circle. Just punch with that same 2-inch circle punch. I'm gonna punch the circle out. I have 2 pieces, so I'll do that twice because we got 2 handles, right? And so then you're going to take a larger circle framelit, and I have my framelits here. So what I did was I looked through my circle framelits. This is the Layering Circles framelit dies. And I just found a circle that was bigger than the circle I punched that could make a decent sized handle. And this was the best match that I could find with our circles, so this is what I went with. Now, if it were 2 1/4 inch, I think this would be even better. So again, if you have a 2 1/4 inch circle punch, I would use that. That would be my preference, but I use what I have. So use what you have. If your circles need to be bigger, smaller, whatever, use what you got. Okay, so now I need my Big Shot. I'm gonna cut out these circles. It is so much easier to punch out the circles first and lay your die around it, because once you've cut the bigger circle out and then you try to fit it inside your punch, it becomes pretty difficult to line it up because you can't see if you're in the center or not. Where with the Big Shot, you can see a little bit better because you have a clear plate and you can line it up. So you've got, oh, actually, I forgot. You need 4 of these little buddies. You don't need 2, you need 4. And I'll show you why. So I'm gonna have to get some more paper. I love making mistakes or forgetting things live. It just makes it so much better. Said no one ever. Okay, so we've got 2. Now we need 2 more. Sorry guys, I should have been prepared. I'll get my stack of cardstock out. See, I've got another piece, so that'll be good. But I have to cut it down because it's a little bit big. And we'll just, we're gonna freehand it with some big scissors. Because we don't care if it has a straight line. We just want a dang circle out of it. So punching 1, I think I could even get 2 out of 1. Here we go. Punching 2. There we go. It was like I meant to do it. So we're lining up 1 circle. Run that through. Right, Janie? This bag is like a present. Yes, I agree. Just itself, it's gorgeous. It's more beautiful than anything you could buy in the store, right? And it's just gorgeous. I love this paper. I love all the paper in the catalog. And I can't wait to get my hands on the ribbon, because the ribbon, the pictures never do it justice. Just like the pictures don't do justice for the paper. Once I get my hands on this ribbon, I know I'm gonna fall in love. That's why I'm looking for people to do the ribbon share. I want to get my hands on this ribbon, you guys, and I know you'll want it too, so you should get the ribbon share with me. I'm doing a ribbon share. It's 26 brand new ribbons in all these gorgeous colors, and it's 25 bucks, and so you get 26 yards for $25. I mean, it's like the perfect like dream sampler you could ever imagine. And one of the new ribbons that we're using today is actually on that list. Look at this beautiful polka dotted tulle ribbon. Isn't that pretty? There's so much pretty ribbon in this catalog. So you should definitely, if you want your hands on all the ribbon, join me for a ribbon share. Just get a ribbon share and we will play with all the wonderful ribbon together. Okay, so I've got my handles. I've got 4 of these circles, and we're going to put a line of liquid glue, not on your nail, don't do that. My nail was in the way. Put a line of glue around, or let's do 2 at a time so we don't get, because you know me, you guys. You know how I am with glue. I'm trying to pick this up. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna line this circle up and the inside of our bag, line it right up with that circle we punched out of the bag. That half circle. So we're lining that up, pressing it down, and then you're going to take that other circle with the adhesive and do the same thing to the front. And you're just making, by doing this, you're making a really sturdy handle that is not going to come off, and it's holding both sides of the bag. So see that? Super sturdy. We're going to do the exact same thing on the other side. So putting our line of adhesive. And you could get all kinds of crazy, super creative with this bag. You can do a tag, you can do embellishments, you can go crazy with it. But I just did a bow. And I thought that was pretty enough. But you could do a tag. You could do rhinestones. You know, Terry and her blinger dingers. She loves her blinger dingers. Any kind of embellishment. I love embellishments. But if you were in my ribbon share, you would get some of this ribbon. And you could tie a beautiful bow and put it on the front of your bag. I really want this ribbon share. I need 10 people. And we've got 3 so far. Well, 4 counting me because I want to share. But we've got 4 people. I need 6 more. And it's just so fun to get your hands on the ribbon. But then once you have it in your hands, say I'm a visual person, right? I need the ribbon in my hands to see if I like it. Then I'll know like, oh my gosh, I love the tulle. I need to buy a whole spool for myself. Such an affordable way to get the ribbon, and then you can sample it and decide, you know, what is it that you really want to invest in. And I always I wrap it up in individual little how do I say, little spools, but they're on a piece of chipboard. So they come really organized. They're not tangled up and crazy. They're like gonna be beautiful. Look at that, guys. Look at this beautiful bag we made. Isn't that gorgeous? Oh my gosh, I can't get enough. I love the colors. I'm so glad I picked this color. I love the green. I love the very metallic, beautiful paper, and the tulle ribbon just, golly, that just topped it right off. Oh my gosh, you guys, give me hearts and love if you love this project. This is so cute. Were you intimidated by it? Did you think you couldn't do it? Because I know you can. I know you can make this project. So there you go, you guys. Look at these 2 projects that we did. Now, remember, if you shared my video, you're gonna get the 2 things you need to color that beautiful detailed laser cut paper, spritzer, and the ink refill. And you can color that laser paper and make some beautiful cards with it. And if you have commented and said hello today, you get my wonderful little goodies that came in my goodie bag. You can get a little little catalog party to go. And you guys definitely need to make one of these. And if you do, please post it on your Facebook page and tag me in it, or post it on my Facebook page so I can see what you guys are creating. I know you could replicate this easily. So definitely want to give that a try, you guys. And again, just want to tell you about my new Stampin' Rewards program. All of June, if you place an order with me and your order totals $50 before tax and shipping, and it doesn't have to be one order, like I said, it could be several orders that add up to $50, but once you hit that $50 mark in June, you'll get a free gift from me. And I'm giving away the new Petal Pink Rhinestone Gems. They're so, so cute. I love them. So make sure you place an order and use this hostess code. You have all June to do it, and you'll get a special prize from me in the mail in July. All right, guys, that's it for me. Usually I do 3 projects. I hope you forgive me for only doing 2 this week. I'm a little burnt out from all the excitement yesterday, but I just love crafting with you guys and sharing all these fun, wonderful projects. I hope to see you next Sunday. Have a fabulous week. It's my birthday week. Whoop, whoop. I love birthday week. It's